Huzzah, friends! Massive congrats to everyone, the entire Warframe community, on the long-awaited release of Warframe's Empyrean. We've all been waiting anxiously since the summer of 2018. It's here. We did it. We made it. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to my Railjack, the host migrator. Now, as I'm sure you've all noticed, this content doesn't really come with a very detailed instruction booklet, so I figured I'd give you all a few tips to make getting started in Empyrean a little bit easier. Let's dive on in. Glam's top 5 tips for getting started in Empyrean. Tip number 1. You do not need a Railjack, but you do need an Arcwing. So you can acquire your first Arcwing, the Odonata, by completing the Arcwing quest available to everyone at MR2, unlocking the Mars Junction, and completing HUZZAH on Mercury. Once you've got your Arcwing, head to the navigation panel in your orbiter. You'll notice a new icon in the top right of the planetary map. Toggle this to access Railjack missions and join up with a crew. Tip number 2, take it slow. Currently, this content ramps up pretty aggressively, so don't be afraid to take your time with it. Definitely don't feel like you need to stop all the blue dots from blinking right off the rip. Warframe has always been a marathon, not a sprint, and this is doubly true of Railjack. Be diligent, farm each mission repeatedly, gather all the resources you'll need, and intrinsics before moving on. You'll have a much better experience because of it. It can get super hectic super quick out there, so don't be afraid to take it slow. Tip number 3. Use intrinsics to grab gunnery level 2. By default, the gunnery window is extremely limited and doesn't really give you much freedom for taking down the massive amounts of fighters you'll be facing. Gunnery level 2 enables a 360-degree viewport, gives you a much wider free range of motion and sightlines for tackling the pesky Grineer. It's a 9-day difference and a huge quality of life upgrade, even if you don't plan on spending much time in the gunnery seat. Tip number 4, keep the forges going. Now, in the back of your ship is the resource forge, where you can craft payload materials that contribute to every aspect of cruising through Railjack's missions. Revelite, flux energy, dome charges, munitions, they're all essential to keeping the guns firing, ensuring your hull can be repaired and random fires quenched. Be sure to periodically check the forge and make sure you don't run out of materials when you need them the most. Solid reminder to all you Railjack captains, make sure you load up your payload before heading out. You can only craft in the forge from materials looted during play, so you start out with nothing there. This brings us to tip number 5 regarding your loot. Tip 5, loot thoroughly. Thanks to a next day hotfix by DE, looting in the missions got a lot easier. So once the objective is complete and all your enemies are clear, don't be afraid to take your time, zip around in your Arcwing, gather all the things. All of these materials are not only essential to the functioning of your Railjack, but also to crafting new components like reactors and guns. Now, if you want bonus loot, be sure to hit that refine button before heading back to the dry dock after you're done with your voyage. Only do this once you're done voyaging, as it will empty all the resources out of your Railjack and you won't be able to use them when needed in the heat of battle. So there you go. Get out there and fly the not so friendly skies. If you need any more help or have any questions at all, hit that link in the description to come join us on Twitch. We'd love to see you. Take it easy. Peace.